everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I filmed a video, but I felt like filming my 2023 planner setup, so I did. It's in a couple of stages, so you'll notice the second half of the video has a different background and slightly different lighting. The notebook I'm using this year is a Suki one from Notebook Therapy. It's just their like a little pink bubble tea book. I've already used this journal for part of last year, so instead of starting a new one, I just decided to keep using the Suki and finish off this notebook because I had heaps left. So I'm working on my cover page. I wanted to do a sort of welcome to 2023 page and then have some words of inspiration for the year. I don't really formally pick a word of the year and do lots of focus or intention around that, but I've not really ever done it before. But this year I had some words that sort of came to mind and I wanted to note them down so that I could look back over them and just kind of see if it helps me set sort of intentions or whatever for the year, basically. My theme that I'm going for my planner this year is sort of collage-y. I've been super inspired by other creators like Mochi Bujo and just a whole bunch of random ones that I've seen on Instagram and stuff. Hopefully you can't hear my computer dying right now as I'm recording on it and watching the video playback. Anyway, I tried to do some numbers on my page on the left, but I didn't like how they were turning out, so covered them with another piece of paper and then did some different numbers for 2023. Still not super happy with them, but I was feeling a little bit nervous filming this video because I hadn't filmed a Bujo video in so long, so I was just feeling a bit clumsy and I had no idea what I was doing. I felt like I had no idea with how to write or do hand lettering and stuff, so yeah, it's weird, but that's just how it is. I'm not super happy with it, but it's okay. Moving on, I'm starting on my future log. This year I'm also doing a Dutch door future log, which I did last year based on Amanda Rachley's 2022, I think it was, spread where she used a Dutch door with tabs, and I really liked that in the bullet journal I had for the beginning of last year, so I decided to do it again for this one. I debated whether to do just 6 months for this journal, but I always like to kind of see the year fully ahead when I start a new year, so I decided to just do the 12 months as normal for my future log, even though I know that I won't be in this journal for the full 12 months. I'm just cutting up the pages now to make the different tabs. I think I cut a little bit too deeply and I should have left a little bit, which plays with some lines that I'm drawing on my spread later on, as you'll see. Using some of my scrap papers again. This pack of scrap paper that I'm using is actually just from the warehouse. They sell scrapbooking sets, and so this is just a little I think it's probably 6x6 or 8x8 squares of scrapbooking paper, and that's just what I'm using to make this spread. And then I'm also using a pink grid washi tape which a friend sent to me from America, so I have no idea where it's from. Drawing some lines now to separate the different calendars that I'm going to be doing for my future log. I decided to just do verticals, and I will do 4 months per spread, basically. Yeah, you can see where I cut a little bit too deeply into those tabs because I wanted to draw these lines on the outside of each spread, but the page, it was just too close to the tabs and it was kind of coming off the page. So I should have left another square. But that's okay. You live and you learn. I'm really sorry if you can hear a chainsaw. I've been trying to film without it, but they just keep chainsawing, and so this is kind of one of the only times I have to do a voiceover for this video, and it just has to happen. I'm really sorry. I'm just going in with, I think it's the blush colored Zig dual marker. So it's a brush and a normal marker end. And I decided to just show you me doing one of the calendar setups, and then I filmed the rest off camera because it's going to take 700 years writing out all those numbers, and you don't need to see all that anyway. I've also got these tiny little letter stickers. They are from Typo from a long time ago. I actually got them from my sister, and then I'm just coloring in the tabs. I like doing this because one, it just adds a contrast, and two, it actually makes it easier for you to see the tabs on the side of your journal when it's closed. So that's kind of cool. Now I'm going in and writing the incorrect headings on on my tabs. I broke it into quarters, which is not the way that it needs to be because I only have 3 sections, so it should have been thirds. Tried to salvage it with some like whiteout, but that wasn't going to work, so ended up covering it with some scrapbooking paper, and yeah, I just ended up writing the months for each section on there. January to April, so on and so forth. It wasn't exactly how I wanted it to be in the end, but that's okay. I think it worked out okay. It just wasn't what I had in mind originally, but sometimes that's just how it goes when you are creating stuff. So moving on, and I'm starting to do a year in pixels setup. I haven't done one of these in a long time actually. I have one from a very old journal, which I think it was maybe 2019. I didn't completely end up filling it in. I was pregnant that year, so I think that just ended up being a bit in the too hard basket. On the right hand page is a snapshots page, and that's basically where I plan on being able to write things down about my kiddo, things that he does, milestones, cute things he says, etc., just to kind of put it somewhere quickly, and then I can transfer that stuff over into his like record books and journal and stuff like that at another time. On the left is my year in pixels. I wanted this to be removable so that when I do shift into a new journal, I can just easily take out what I've already put down. I don't have to redraw everything, and I didn't want an incomplete year in pixels in each journal. So I've got this separate piece of paper, and I'm just going to washi tape it into this journal, and then I can easily move it over into the next one when I need to. I'm just drawing, I think it was like maybe 10 or 11 squares, and that's going to be my key for the colors and the different moods basically that I'm writing down. So I chose quite a lot. I probably could have done fewer than this, but that's okay. I ended up putting the colors in later on when I was filling in my journal, so I haven't got the colors that I picked down, but you'll be able to see it probably eventually when I do like a flip through or something. So moving on, and I'm now doing a what I read spread. I do like to keep track of what I read. I do have a Goodreads, but I also like to write it in my bullet journal as well for just, I guess, posterity. And here you see a little jump into the different setup. I wasn't able to finish the what I read spread before I had to stop filming earlier on, so you can see now I also added a little transfer sticker up on the top. It's a piece of parchment paper and a quill. And then I'm just doing a simple table down the bottom using that blush pen again, writing title, author, date that I finished it, and how, what I rated it basically. And then on this page I've got things to check out. I'm just doing 4 separate boxes because I basically just want to have a list of things that I want to read, play, watch, I think that's pretty much it. I made a little boo-boo at the end, and I think the bottom box is longer than the top one, which is really annoying. I was like, oh my gosh, this was supposed to be the same size as the previous page. But anyway. Over this page, I've got a health tracker. I was inspired by Mochi Bujo to do this, so it's not so much a tracker, it's just kind of like a place where I can write down different areas of health stuff, things that I might need to, like appointments that I might need to go to, questions that I might have for a particular doctor or specialist, just anything like that. I wanted a place to be able to write that stuff down and easily kind of refer back to it. I don't really need to go to the doctor very much or anything, but I thought it would be nice. I do know that I've got some different checks that are coming up this year, and it's probably a good idea to be able to easily keep track of those appointments and any questions that I might have. On the opposite page, I'm also kind of doing the same thing for my kiddo. I wanted to be able to have a place where I could easily note down anything that I had any concerns about or that I knew needed to be checked coming up. So I just wanted somewhere super easy to keep track of that stuff that I could refer back to later on. In hindsight, maybe I should have made these pages removable, but I think it might be cool when I set up my next journal to be able to just kind of like do something slightly different. So this next page is going to be just a general mind sweep, anything that I just want to jot down, have a place to brainstorm stuff, get anything out of my head that I need to get out of my head. I always like to have one of those pages. And then on the right hand side, I also have basically the same thing, but this is just relating to house stuff, any house maintenance we have, anything that needs to be done, fixed, etc. Over on this spread, I'm going to be doing a content tracker. So I'm hoping to be able to share a little bit more of my bullet journal content and other stuff on like YouTube and probably also Instagram as well. So I just wanted to have a little place to keep track of that. This layout was inspired by someone from Instagram, so I will link their Instagram down below. I can't remember their name right now. Simple little tables just to kind of keep track of everything that I want to keep track of. The pen that I'm using here is a Sakura brush pen, I think. Yes. And then on the opposite side is just going to be a place for notes relating to any content-y type stuff. Things that I might need to do for YouTube, things that I might need to do for Instagram, yeah, ideas, expansion, etc. Over on this page, I've got a hobbies page. So I have quite a few different categories of hobbies that I like to do. And so, while bullet journal is one of them, I don't, that content is kind of written about elsewhere, but I just like to have a place where I can keep track of some of the things that I'm either working on or that I want to work on. It's particularly relevant because I do enjoy sewing, and those are often projects that can take a little bit of time or that I might like leave for a bit and come back to, etc. So it's nice to kind of have a running list of the things that I'm working on or that I want to do. I've got sewing, I've got Bath and Body because I really want to try making some soap, and I also made some calendula salve last year, which was pretty cool. And then I have Garden, and then just a generic other thing. On this page I have a now and then setup. This is inspired by, I think you pronounce it Jashi Corin on YouTube and Instagram. So they've been using a now and then type of spread in their bullet journal for a while, and we're kind of talking about how it's a really cool little way to look back on the beginning of the year and the end of the year and what sorts of things have changed for them. And I thought it was really cute to just kind of keep track of this sort of stuff as like a little mini time capsule. So I wanted to do that. Moving on, I'm doing my goals. I just wanted to do like a center, almost like starburst type of goal thing, but it's not starburst in the end. I've got a piece of paper in the middle which I cut in half so it doesn't restrict opening and closing, and then I'm just adding some other little collagey bits. And then I'm going to use some markers to basically just draw out some boxes around the sides and cut up the page into the different sections that I need for my goals this year. I guess a note about goals for me is that they're not necessarily goals in like the traditional sense, is that some of this is more themes of stuff that I want to kind of focus on this year a little bit, and other stuff is like general, like, okay, goals, we need to do this thing, we need to get it sorted. I didn't actually set any goals or intentions or kind of themes for last year, and I often found myself feeling like I was floundering a little bit at times. Like I just didn't have a sense of direction sometimes, which was a bit weird because I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm the most successful goal person. I wouldn't necessarily say that I am constantly hitting it out of the park and like I have like a goal system where I'm constantly working on stuff every month in a conscious effort way or keeping track of how I'm doing that sort of thing. So I don't know, but I did feel a little bit adrift last year at times. I'm just putting some little highlighted areas to put the titles on for each section. Got financial, health, parenting, marriage, house stuff, social, and personal. So moving on to these spreads, on the left is one called Better Days. So this is just like some parenting related stuff. Basically, I just like to keep track of things that make our days generally better if we do them consistently. And then I also had another page which was for parenting mantras. Sorry about the weird focusing situation that was going on there. Then moving on to this next spread, on the left I've got a routine. My kiddo is going to be starting some childcare this year, and that means that we're going to have to be a little bit more organized in the morning slash working towards a bit more of a schedule. We have a pretty solid routine as it is anyway, but I wanted to be able to look at this timeline and just kind of assess what needs to be done when and in between what hours. He's not going to be in childcare every single day, but he will be going a few times a week, so our days will look different depending on what he's doing. I'm not filling this in properly yet because I still didn't have, at the time of filming, a solid idea of exactly what I wanted to write down. And then on the other side, I've got what's going to be a childcare dashboard for my kiddo. So it's basically just, things that he's going to need to have in his bag, and then a bunch of like lunch and snack ideas for packing that stuff, and just any important information that I need to keep track of. And that's it. That's the end of all of my spreads for 2023 so far. This is a little flip through. So thank you so much for watching. I know this was a bit of a quick little whirlwind video, and probably super unexpected for anyone who might still be watching anything that I put out on here. Thanks if you're still subscribed and active and you watch this video. Really appreciate that. Give it a like, leave a comment. That would be amazing. I'd love to hear from you. How have you been? What are you up to? Are you still bullet journaling? If not, why? If yes, why? That's awesome. If you have like an Instagram handle or anything where you share bullet journal content, or if you also share on YouTube, let me know in the comments too so I can come and check you out. That would be amazing. Would love to connect to some more people. And I'll have another video up soon of my January 2023 setup and also like week 2 setup. So yeah, keep an eye out for those videos. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you again really soon. Bye.